Hey friends, my name is Christian Godmark. I am one of the developers on the Productivity Plus pack, and I'm here today because last week I was asked in our Discord how if I could kind of show a demo on the Commands Plus that we added like a few months ago. And so I thought, yeah, of course, let's do it. And so with that, let's kind of dive into it. As you're all probably familiar with, is like, if I right click, I see a context menu on that's kind of relevant to that item. I see a different one if I right click a folder. And that's very cool. I love that Windows offer that capability, and it's been there for many years. Unfortunately, it's not really, the ordinary user cannot really, like myself, we can't really easily customize that. And so Command Plus tries to kind of alleviate some of that, and we are working on other things as well longer term, but kind of in the immediate term, what's possible is I can right click this, I can then see a list of commands that are applicable. In this case is an image. I can back up that file. I could maybe remove some personal data from that file. And similarly for a text file, I can also can still back that up, and in this case, maybe opening it Notepad is relevant. On in my current setup, I cannot use VS Code on a folder, and I love VS Code, and so I was thinking maybe we can kind of use that as an example just to kind of see what's possible. So let me dive into the settings and see what's already here. And so all of these items are in my context menu here are these items that are going to be showing up. I can see, again, I can kind of filter this so that it makes it a bit easier for me. So these are the things that kind of apply to folders. Let me just kind of quickly show that again for context. So you can see it's the same set of items. Or I can see all that has currently been configured. Again, I can change these, I can rename them, I can change the order of them, I can remove them kind of to my heart's content. But these are just kind of ones that we are including so far, and that list will keep evolving over time as we get feedback and ideas from you. So, but let's get back to the VS Code scenario. So I can add a command, and let's call it VS Code, and have a look at what's already installed. I'll search for code, and then that should return me VS Code, and it does. Then from there, it assumes that you want to use that same icon. You can fully customize that. We include a bunch of icons in there just to kind of help get you started with that. But that's there for the taking as well. There's also a number of parameters I can pass in, like what is it that I want the command to kind of operate on? Do I want to have it operate on, always the same file? Maybe I always want to right click the desktop and open something and kind of see my latest dashboard on how the product is doing or whatever might be appropriate for me. Or in this case, I actually want to have it operate on the current selected item that I'm kind of invoking on, like as you would kind of expect for most of the context menu items. So I'll insert that as well. And finally, I'll choose, do I want this to be the desktop, a folder, or some, ad hoc file? So I think I mentioned folders earlier, so let's do that. And let's also maybe add like it to work on all files, and then I'll say add as well. And I feel like we're in pretty good shape. Let's try that out and save that. And now I can then right click any of these, and I'll right click the folder here. And as it comes through, and then I can then have VS Code, and let me just try and open. And VS Code has then been opened with that particular folder, like this folder with empty folders was what I clicked on. Similarly, if I have this beautiful text file, it's already configured in my system here to open, but maybe it isn't in yours. In this case, you can have that consistency across all the file types, and then that opens that file, an almost empty text file apparently. And what else is there to show? Oh, maybe just a thing as well. These commands can then also be shortcutted. So if I do control, in this case, in my setup, I have Control, Windows, Alt, and then G, and then followed by that item on that. So if I want to open this on a notepad, I would do Control, Windows, Alt, G, and then followed by 1. So let's try that. And then that opened up just by pressing the keys. You couldn't maybe see that, but that's how I opened that. That's kind of it. I think that's kind of what I want to cover today. So first, foremost, thank you for joining. Hopefully, to our friends on Discord, this helps answer some of the things that's possible with the feature. And if you're watching this for the first time and you're not on our Discord, you are definitely and certainly invited. We really love ideas. Kind of get ourselves really excited about this. So I really love that conversation that we're having there. Anyway, see you in the next one.